There is a moment when a number becomes so large that the human brain simply stops processing it. Not because it is hidden, but because it is too exposed. Right now, there is a number racing upward, quietly glowing on screens, spinning faster than reality itself. It is not a prediction. It is not a theory. It is not a warning from the future. It is already here. Pause. If this video reaches you, stay with it till the end. Like the video, subscribe, because once you see this clearly, you cannot unsee it. The official debt of the United States has crossed a threshold that history does not forgive. Not billions. Not trillions. $38 trillion. A number so large that metaphors start breaking down. Stack $1 bills end to end. They do not stop at the moon. They pass it. For decades, politicians laughed this off. Economists waved it away. They said deficits do not matter. They said we owe the money to ourselves. They said growth will fix everything. Debt was treated like a video game score. High, scary, but meaningless. That illusion ended in December 2025 because the math stopped cooperating. For the first time in American history, the government now spends more money paying interest on old debt than it spends defending the nation itself. More than the military, more than healthcare for the poor. Nearly $1 trillion a year, just to stand still. This is not policy failure. This is a structural trap. In a normal household, too much debt has a solution. You cut spending, you cancel luxuries, you adjust your lifestyle. A government cannot do this. Most of its spending is locked in place. Social Security, Medicare, promises made to an aging population that cannot be broken without political collapse. So spending cannot fall, which means interest must be paid another way. By borrowing again. New debt. To pay interest on old debt. A credit card paying off another credit card. Each year, the balance grows. Each year, the interest grows. This is not linear. It is exponential. A self-feeding loop with no emergency exit. And once you enter it, there are only 3 historical outcomes. Every empire that faced a debt load like this was forced to choose between 3 doors: austerity, default, or inflation. The first door is austerity, massive tax hikes, brutal spending cuts. To balance the budget today, income taxes would need to double, or the military would need to vanish. Neither will happen. Any politician touching Social Security commits career suicide. Any president proposing 70% tax rates is erased at the ballot box. The economy is addicted to government spending. Remove it suddenly, and depression arrives overnight. So austerity is sealed shut. The second door is default. Refuse to pay. Walk away. Other nations have done this. Argentina, Russia, the United States cannot. Every bank, every pension fund, every global trade contract. All of it is built on the assumption that US debt is risk-free. A default would freeze global credit instantly. Cards stop working, trade stops moving. It would be financial detonation, so default is unthinkable. That leaves only one door. The one every empire eventually opens. You do not refuse to pay, you pay everything. But you pay it back with money that is worth less. This is the soft default, the invisible one. You print the difference. This is not a conspiracy. It is policy. If inflation runs higher than interest rates, the real value of the debt shrinks every year. 5% inflation on $30 trillion erases over $1 trillion of debt annually. No tax hikes, no spending cuts, the bondholder is repaid. But that money buys less food, less housing. This is called financial repression. A transfer of wealth from savers to the state, disguised as supply chains, disguised as temporary inflation. And now, this system has taken control. For 40 years, the Federal Reserve claimed independence. Its job was to protect the currency, even if it hurt the economy. That era is over. The debt is now too large. If interest rates rose to historic levels, the interest bill alone would exceed total tax revenue. The government would collapse. So rates must stay lower than inflation. The Fed is no longer the master. The Treasury is. This is fiscal dominance. The money printer is now fused permanently to the budget. Not loudly. Not suddenly. But forever. The crisis is not a crash. It is a slow burn. Debt rising, currency falling, a dangerous balancing act. Print too slow, the debt crushes the system. Print too fast, hyperinflation erupts. So the target becomes steady erosion. 4 to 5% inflation, year after year. At that pace, Your savings lose half their value in 14 years. That is not an accident. That is the plan. This strategy is not new. After World War II, the United States used it successfully. Interest rates were capped. Inflation ran higher. Bondholders lost purchasing power for a decade. The debt vanished. Today, the same playbook returns, upgraded with modern tools. Tool 1. The captive buyer, banks, pension funds, insurance companies. They are forced by regulation to hold government bonds. Not because they are safe, but because the law demands it. Artificial demand, artificial prices. Tool 2. The broken compass, inflation itself. The consumer price index has been rewritten quietly for decades. Substitution, quality adjustments. If steak becomes hamburger, your standard of living falls, but inflation looks tame. Using old calculations, real inflation would be double today's official numbers. You are being told survival is cheaper than it is. Tool 3. Central bank rescue. When foreign buyers step back, the Fed steps in. Money is printed. Bonds are bought. Markets rise. Assets inflate. An illusion of wealth. But every dollar is thinner. This system does not hurt everyone equally. Money enters the economy at the top. Banks, institutions, asset owners. They buy first. Before prices rise. Workers get paid later. After inflation, this is why wealth inequality explodes. The top 10% soar. The bottom 90 fall behind. The middle class is liquidated quietly. Saving becomes a losing strategy. Cash guarantees loss. Bonds guarantee erosion. You are forced to speculate just to stand still. The economy becomes a casino because the safe option has been destroyed on purpose. There is one final tool, not fully deployed yet. Central bank digital currency. Cash limits control. Digital money removes the exit, negative rates, forced spending. Expiration dates, programmable money. This is not fiction. It is already being tested globally. A cashless system allows total control when inflation alone is not enough. The verdict is simple. The United States will not default loudly. It will default politely, bureaucratically, silently. Debt erased. Savings diluted. The winners will own scarce assets. The losers will trust the system. The era of saving is over. The era of survival has begun. History shows what comes next. In 1933, the government stopped pretending. Gold was seized, ownership criminalized, and the legal framework still exists. In the next video, we expose how that power still applies today. Your gold, your Bitcoin, your retirement. Are you sure they are safe? Like the video, subscribe. I will see you inside the vault.